What's up, viewers? This is ICX Killer My Way here with the first episode of How to Evolve. In this series, I will be going over games and breaking them down for you all to better understand. Then I will give hints and tips on how to potentially be better at the game. If you are interested in this series, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel. Also, hit that bell so you'll be alerted when another video is released and you won't miss a thing. We will be starting off with the racing game by Codemasters called Onrush. Let's start off with the core of the game. Onrush is an arcade style racing game where the primary goal is not to be the first to the finish line. Instead, there are various game types that range from capture the flag style modes to all out team against team brawls. There are different class types that each have their special perks and uses, which can make for great combination opportunities as the game revolves around 6 versus 6 team setups. As players race, boost, and complete objectives that will fill the rush tank, which once full can be used to temporarily buff your vehicle's speed, armor, and strength. Here, I will break down each game mode and give a few tips on how you can make your victories easier to obtain. The first and signature game mode introduced is called Overdrive. Both teams start the game coming from a split with full boost and begin controlling their vehicles as they meet on the same path very quickly. The goal is for your team to reach the target amount of points, and points are only earned by boosting and using Rush. One thing I notice when I play is that teams either use Rush as soon as they acquire it or all use Rush at once. I strongly advise that players do not all use it at once, because what happens afterwards is what I call a dry period. After Rush ends, players usually have to recover from the high speed and getting ahead of everyone, typically leading to them running out of boost and needing to slow down. If everyone uses Rush and at least 3 people need to recover with no boost, the other team will not only gain points much faster than yours, but you all can quickly become targets of their offense and be taken out, prolonging the recovery period, which can and will usually allow them to benefit more than you in the long run. My suggestion for a successive run is to divide your team with only 2, if not 1 offensive driver. Have them stand in the back and focus on attacking the enemies to slow them and steer them from focusing on the objective at hand, while the others continue boosting and focus on doing nothing but maintaining their boost spree and acquiring Rush. As they start to fill their Rush meters, coordinate your formations and have only one driver rush at a time. This allows the other rusher to keep your score going up and your allies to protect if you run into a dry period and need to refill on boost. Next, I will be getting into the mode Countdown. In this mode, the 2 teams start off with the timer, and as it counts down, players can hit checkpoints to add time for their team. After a team reaches 5 seconds, the end game phase begins and they can see their team's timer with milliseconds displayed as well. This mode requires skill and lots of coordination with rotations. As the rounds begin, split into 2 sets with 3 on offense and 3 focusing on nothing but hitting checkpoints. As the team starts taking the lead with time, slowly transition into pure aggression and secure the win by wrecking the opposition and stopping them from hitting checkpoints. On the other hand, winning if your team starts to drop in time and lose the lead, transition into a passive state where everyone hits checkpoints and tries to maintain a steady clock. In this mode, do not underestimate the potential of bikes and buggies. Though they can't take much damage, the mobility trade-off is far more beneficial and can seriously lead to many victories. Third is an action-packed game mode called Switch. In Switch, each member of both teams start with a bike and has 2 switches in reserve before being taken out of the competition. If a player is wrecked, they must switch to the next set of vehicles and will lose a switch. The order is as follows: bikes first, buggies, and then cars. If you wreck, are taken out, or are forced to switch from falling behind too far while in a car, you will then have to switch to a truck and will be out of the life count for your team. You can still drive and help keep your allies in the game though, but the game ends once everyone on the team have trucks. Honestly, this mode may sound simple, but I've seen many players lead comebacks and blow easy wins by making both small and big mistakes. One very important thing to know is that the truck does not count as a life. Being in one means that you are already out of the game. So if you see an enemy truck, avoid focusing on it. And don't avoid confrontation if you are a truck, because wrecking at that point does not matter. Positioning wise, many people try getting to the front early and stay there. Don't. It is much better to keep your team behind the other and pick off your enemies one by one. On the flip side, you will want to stay in the front and focus on forcing the enemies to switch from self-wrecking or getting too far behind, but only if it comes down to you being by yourself or it comes to a 2 versus many situation. Another thing to note on this mode is that rush carries over from vehicle to vehicle when you wreck. If you're in a bike that you really are uncomfortable with but are efficient with rushing with the buggy vortex, it's okay to save your rush until you wreck and get the vehicle if you happen to switch before the game ends. One more thing here, make sure you decide and discuss what vehicles you will pick before the game starts. One of the worst things is when you wreck and can't decide what to pick, so you accidentally choose a vehicle you don't really want. The fourth and last game mode is called Lockdown. There is a ring that constantly moves along the track, and similar to King of the Hill, drivers from a team must stay inside it for 6 seconds to capture it. To begin capture, a team must have the majority of their racers inside at once. If they all leave the ring or the other team matches the same amount of racers inside it, capture stops and resets to 6 seconds again until capture starts. With this mode, you'll want to split into 3 groups of 2. One group should focus on getting wrecks to decrease the amount of opposition they can attack the ring. The second team of 2 should try staying ahead and focus on capturing or contesting the ring. The third team should pick vehicles that they are comfortable with and focus primarily on acquiring rush. Once both acquire it, the team can use what I call a ring cleanse. The 2 attackers drop back a bit and protect the ring from opponents coming in. The ring capture team uses boost and tries to dominate the ring, while the 2 rushers push ahead and clear the way, wrecking everyone in their path. If done correctly, this play could and should land your team at least 2 free captures before the opponent can recover. After they do, return to your previous roles and keep going. There is something big here that I want to point out for this mode, which is vehicle combinations. It would probably be a good idea for the ring capture team to get heavier vehicles so that they can capture the ring more stubbornly and take punishment while at it. The rushers should get lighter vehicles and possibly get bikes because it allows them to stay mobile and makes it much easier to push forward when executing a ring cleanse. In this part of the video, I will be giving a few hints and tips about gameplay that many players may or may not know. Takedowns. Lots of players complain about takedowns being too difficult and unbalanced for some vehicles, but you should note that it's not as simple as tapping your target with boost active. Momentum plays a very big part in acquiring takedowns on Onrush. When you begin to zero in on your target, you should start to advance to the side of them. From here, stop boosting. Whether the target tries to turn it to you or stays on course, time your ram correctly and reactivate boost right before making contact. This will give your vehicle an extra kick then and could help you secure a lot more takedowns. Next, when you are dueling someone, sometimes it's better to make them vulnerable. but wait until you're near a cliff or lots of obstacles. Making someone vulnerable decreases their car control, and depending on how efficiently you ram them, you make them steer off temporarily. Also, don't be afraid to work together with takedowns. Chances are, once you land a hit and make someone vulnerable, you'll need to refocus yourself so you don't wreck yourself and can stand the course. Call out that you're going for an attack, so once you remove their protection, an ally could head over and give them one more hit to destroy them easily. Turning corners. While driving at high speeds, which is almost always in this game, you could sometimes find it quite difficult to turn tight corners. I advise that you familiarize yourself with the handbrake, because using it correctly will help you with turning into targets to wreck them, turn corners easier, and hit that last minute angle on the ramp that launches you into a barrel roll, which can fill your boost meter very quickly. Aerial assist. When you hit a ramp and get airtime, you can hold boost to maintain your speed and drop a lot faster, allowing for air slams, which is smashing someone's car by boost landing on top of them. If you decide not to boost, you will stay in the air longer, which once you land, gives you more boost for having more airtime. Also, if you are not boosting in a split second after hitting the ground you boost, you should hear a kick-like sound and your vehicle will lunge forward very quickly, helping to escape someone trying to boost slam you, assisting a heavy round to wreck someone, or simply just to give you extra speed temporarily.
Onrush started as nothing more than a bunch of friends. Mutual
vehicle coordination. Never underestimate the potential of matching or running multiples of car types. Here are a few of my personal favorite combinations. Outlaw and Dynamo. As Outlaw drains boost from the competition, Dynamo can help the team pull ahead, giving your team an easy front position when necessary. Titan and Interceptor. When Titan rushes, he can slow the enemies with the blockades he drops, making it very easy for the Interceptor to keep their rush going and take out the slowed opponents. Last but not least, Enforcer and Blade. Enforcer can blind enemies, making them unable to see the blade approaching, which can lead to easy Trailblazer kills. There are lots of vehicle combinations, playstyles, and more. Make sure you experiment with things in training to learn new skills and strategies that can help you evolve and get better at the game. If you like this video, make sure you like and subscribe for more content. This is ICX Killing My Way signing out. Peace.